Okay, for the next assignment, I'm going to create a new document. You can close the one that you did for the challenge and you say File New. Or actually, I'm going to go over here first, click on it and make sure I go File New. Then I'm going to make it 1080 by 1080 and 150 pixels per inch and click Create. So this is how big the post needs to be. Now the other thing is I'm going to look out at some posts on Instagram and find one of the ones that you selected from last week or find one that you want to recreate this week. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and I'm going to place it. So I'm going to go File, Place, and I'm going to go to my downloads because I just downloaded it, and that's the one I want. So I'm going to click Place, and I'm going to drag it on here, and you can already see that it's not quite a square, so you could do a different size, I guess, but I'm going to keep it as a square and just kind of do something similar. So the first thing I need to do is open Photoshop as well. So I'm going to open Photoshop, and on the assignment are a bunch of images of our volleyball team. You're going to take one of these volleyball shots and load them into your assignment by cutting them out first in Adobe Photoshop. So as soon as this loads, okay, now I go Open, and on my desktop I created a folder called volleyball post assignment. So I'm going down to that volleyball post assignment, and then I'm going to grab the first one that I like with the smile. So I'm probably going to use, actually this one she's pointing, so I kind of like that one, so I'm going to go to Open. And then I'm going to select subject like we did last week. I'm going to zoom in on it and just see how it did. Actually, okay, it looks like I missed part of the ball. So again, I get the quick select tool, I hold the shift key down and just kind of select more of the ball. And I don't care if I get under her arm, but I'm going to go ahead and go Option and click under her arm just to see if I can get it. Yeah, it looks like I have a better shot at it. Now I go Command X to see how well I did. It looks like she got some shoe stuff going on, but I'm not sure we need the shoes, so I'm not that worried about it. So I go Command V. Okay, I did Command X, and then I did Command V. Now I'm going to turn off this background, delete it. Yep. And hopefully you can do this. Go to the crop tool and just kind of crop her in there a little bit tighter so it's not such a big image. Not that worried about this part. And then I hit Enter. Then I'm going to go File, Export, Export As. And then I'm going to put it in the same folder. So I'm going to go to my desktop and go to volleyball post assignment. And I'm going to save it as Edit 1. And I'm going to save it as a PNG. I believe I did. Save, yep. Okay, so now I go back to Illustrator. Now when I'm in Illustrator, I see I have all these different things, but I want to get her in here first. So I'm going to go File, Place. And then I'm going to find the, I gotta go to my desktop and find the picture of volleyball post assignment. I just put in there Edit 1, Place, and then I'm just going to drag and make it in there, and it'd probably be a lot bigger, so I'm going to hold the shift key down and resize it a little bit more, something more like that. I'm not going to worry too much about the background, and another thing is I'm going to use layers in this one, so it'll help me keep it organized. So I click right here on Layers, and this is the layer she's on, so I'm going to go ahead and click once on it, Control click, and hopefully it'll let me rename it. Nope, it doesn't, so I'm going to forget that. I'm going to hit a new layer, and I'm going to lock her in the back, but I feel like she needs to be bigger still, so I'm going to hold the shift key down and make it bigger. Okay, so something like that, and then I'm going to go Command 0 to come back to this point and just kind of squeeze out just a little bit. Okay, so I want her sort of right here in the picture. And then I'm going to start with the paint swatches. So I go out to Google and I create a new screen, and I'm just going to look for paint swatch, or not swatches, paint clip art, paint brush, clip art, strokes. There we go. So I'll grab these. I'm not worried about being exactly like it, so I'm going to control click copy image, and then I'm going to go back to Illustrator, and I'm going to paste it in, so I have that as well. And I'm going to move this off to the side before I trace it. I put everything over to the side over here so that I don't have it interfere with my image over on this side. So I sort of want us to create something like this. It's not going to look exactly like it, so I'm going to do control, or actually I don't do control, I just copy it, image trace it, and I'm going to do silhouette. But remember, even when you do silhouette and they all disappear, you still have to click expand and then ungroup, and then ungroup again if it asks you to. And now I can start taking these paint swatches and kind of rotating them and bringing them behind, making them a little bit bigger. Like that, maybe bigger than that too. Alright, and these are my paint splotches. I'm going to make sure these appear on the back. So I'm going to take her and actually I want my paint splotches to be on layer 2 and move layer 2 down, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to send it back. So I'm going to click on this, control, arrange, send it back. And then for now I'm just going to use a blue color. You can use the Norman color, whatever you want, but try to make it match our colors as much as possible. So there's one paint splotch. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and just see how big it looks. Okay, and then I'm going to take another one that's a little different. I'm going to rotate it and make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to drop it down here, and I'm going to control click, arrange, send it back. And I'm going to make this one navy blue, or something close to that. Let's see, navy blues, that's closer. Okay, so now I've got the two paint swatches in down at the bottom. Now I want to add another one to the top, so I'm going to take this and click on the paint and go, oh wait, I'll take one of these to make it different, and then I'll put it up here just to kind of cover the same area. And I'm going to control, arrange, send it back, and I'm going to eyedrop the blue while I have it selected so that it turns that color. So now I've kind of got that background color. Now she has like the picture of a city back in hers. I'm just going to zoom in real quick. You see the sort of, or it looks like a volleyball game going on in the background. You can choose whatever you want. Let's just go out and find something. And I'm getting rid of the other paint swatches because I don't need these. So I'm going to start out by going out and find a paint swatch, or maybe I use picture of Oak Park High School. And I'm going to go to images and see if I can find one that I like. Has to be more volleyball related, but instead I'll probably just use a picture of the school. Like maybe this one will work. Yeah, I mean it looks old and it's got cards, but that's alright. I'm going to control click, copy image. I'm going to go up to Illustrator, and I'm going to go control V. Now for this one, I'm going to image trace it and do a low fidelity image. Let's see what that turns out like. And then I'm going to make it bigger so it covers more of the space back here. Like this. I want to be able to see the school name there. And then I'm going to bring down the opacity like crazy. So I'm going to go way down like that. So really it doesn't look like much, but that's alright. It still has a school there. You can bring it up just a little bit. Let me bring it up just a little bit more than that. Like that. Okay. So now let me bring her to front. Control, arrange, bring to front. Okay. And now I've got a pretty good start. I'm gonna I'm gonna move. And remember, when these show up here at the top, you just click on those, go back. I'm gonna move this out of the way for a second. Move this up out of the way. Okay, and then I'll move this up to be in the spot that I want it. Now I'm going to go ahead and move her out of the way for a second because I want to get the background established. So I'm just going to zoom out and move out like this. And then I'm going to move this grime vector thing away, sorry. And layers doesn't need to see right now. Okay, and I want to just have the square. So I'm going to make a square, just like we've been doing with the masking. So I click rectangle tool, I click once, and I type in 1080 by 1080. And then I'm going to go center, center. And then I'm going to select everything but the image up here. I want to keep these two separate. So I'm going to just select through all these like this. And I make clipping mask. And that'll give me sort of a background. I don't know why I made the other one transparent, but that's fine. Actually, I'm going to release that mask and figure out why it's doing that. I must have selected it by accident when I did the other piece. Nope, it's 100%. Oh, this is in front. So let me send this to back. Control, arrange, send to back. There, now it's hiding. And now I'm going to make the box for the mask. So 1080 by 1080. And then I'm going to make sure it has a fill of some kind. And I'm going to go center, center. Again, I hit center this way. Okay, and then I'm going to select everything over here. Oops, Command Z, you guys have done that, I'm sure. Go to the selection tool, select all of it, except don't select these. And then I say make clipping mask in there. That's looking a little bit more like it. Not a lot, but a little. And then I'm going to take her and put her in, and she's in back. So I'm going to Command Z. Command Z and put it back. I'm gonna control click on her legs so I can arrange, bring her to front. Let me try that again. Control, arrange, bring to front. There we go. So now she's in front and I want her over here like this. The next thing I want is the text. So I'm gonna take the text and start to fill it in. I'm gonna go match day, and this is looking really small. I'm gonna make it bigger, and I'm gonna pick a bigger font as well because it should look bulky. So I'm just gonna take this and highlight it and go find a thicker font. Use impact. That's not my favorite, but I'll use it. Now, I want the letters to look like this one. I want them to kind of be close together like that. So I'm going to go over here and just decrease the amount of space between them by going to here. This should, if I have it selected, yeah, this will bring it up. So that's a good spot for right there. And now I'm going to make day as big as match. So I'm just going to go over here and select day and increase the font. Oops. Increase the font, and it'll overlap, but I can fix that afterwards. So I just got to get it as close as I can. There it is. So you can see it's kind of going past it now. So I'm going to move back. Okay. So now I'm going to make this a little further apart. Using these controls over here. Okay. So now I move it down. Put it in a little bit, don't put it too close to the edge. I'm going to make it white. And it actually looks like it has a stroke, so I'm going to give it a black stroke. Or I might give it a navy stroke, kind of keep things consistent, but it's like a really small stroke. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in on this and just see what else I'm missing. Okay, so I need some kind of paint thing here and some information in the logo. So now I'm going to go to get the logo. So let's do it the hard way. Let's go to here and just click on Norman. This one's 400 by 400. This one's smaller. I want to get the biggest one as I can. 512 by 363. Is this the 400 one? No. I guess I'll just do this one. This one's smaller though. Let me go to a bigger one if I can. Okay, this one's nice and big. So I'm gonna control click, copy image, go to Illustrator, Command V, and then I'm gonna do image trace with 3 colors and see what I end up with. It should be that's not enough colors, so I'm going to go to 6 colors. Yeah, it's just not working out like I want to, so I'm going to do it another way. I'm going to go to this and go Control, Save Image As. I'm going to save it as, let's see, I don't want in my downloads, I want to go to Desktop and find that volleyball assignment. I'm going to call it Norman. So I type in Norman up here, and I click Save. And now when I place it, it should be better. So if I go down to Illustrator again, and I File, Place, because it was see-through there, I go to Norman, and I place him, and I'm just going to put him right up here. And then now he has a white background, so I can more easily remove the background. And I might make him bigger while I do this, so I'm going to hold the shift key down, make it bigger. Oh no, he does have them still. Oh well. So I'm going to do image trace, six colors. Okay, and this is kind of a good example for us to go through this. So I'm going to go expand, ungroup. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on one of these squares and say select same appearance. And it's going to allow me to delete all those. And then I click on the other square and I go select same appearance. And I delete what's there. So now I've got all this and I group it back together, Command G, or I click on group. And now I hold the shift key down while I make it smaller and put it in the corner. Now one thing I want you guys to start doing, and I will mark you down for this, is that you put Norman in here like this, but I want him facing into the picture. So you got to go up here to flip horizontally and just flip him horizontally so he's coming into the picture. And I also want to try to make sure he's aligned with this part right here. So what I might do is just kind of edge it over and then move up like that. So now I've got it up here. And then you can put the match day information down here. So I'll say, let's see, I'd have to look up, and I got to click away. I'm going to click over here and type in, click here, yeah. And I'm going to type in the text. So I'm going to say Oak Park versus, and I got to look and see who they play. Just a second. So I go into here and go, they're playing Staley. So Oak Park versus Staley, and it's at Oak Park. So I'm going to move this over and put Oak Park versus Staley. And then I'm going to make it much smaller. And I'm going to put it right up here underneath the words. Try to get it to be about the same size as these two. You can kind of see when it lines up. It kind of shows you a line. And that one's going to be good right there. And then I'm going to change that to the navy blue. So I'm going to go over here and eyedrop the blue. And it should be blue now. Actually, this could be white too with a paint background, but I'm not going to worry about the paint background too much. And then I'm going to say it's at, let's see, I'm just going to click again out here and go, let's see, September, what is today? 9th. And at 5:30 p.m. And then I'm going to resize it. And put it down here. And then I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to option drag and make a copy of it so I don't have to type something in again. At Oak Park. And I'm going to make some of these smaller because they shouldn't be the emphasis. I just want to more be the emphasis on the fact that we have a match today. So I'm going to bring this down. And it should line up pretty good. Wait, let's see. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to select through all of these, and then I'm going to deselect the backs. And then I'm going to say left align right here. Now they all should be aligned really nicely. The day probably should be moved over a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that too much at this point. If you want, well, actually, I'm going to go Command X, and then I'm going to backspace, and I'm going to hit out here, and go Command V. And this will allow me to then go in and align it better with the edge and stretch it out just a little. No, that's good right there. So now I think everything is looking pretty left aligned. You could put their logo down here if you wanted to. Let's go get the paint brush stroke, or actually, yeah, no, let's get a stroke. Brush stroke clip art. These are perfect. So I'm going to grab these, control click, copy image, go to Illustrator, and I trace it because I want to get it to be clean art. So I image trace, and I'm going to do silhouette, and I'm going to do the thing I always do, expand, ungroup, ungroup. Then I'm going to take one of these that I like, so I like this one, and I'm just going to shift, make it bigger if I can. It's pretty small, so I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit, and I'll make it bigger. I don't know if I like that one. I think I like this one better, or maybe this one. It's a little fuller. So I'm going to make it bigger like this so it fits underneath. And then I'm going to create outlines for this one, so I don't need to worry about hitting that one again. So I create outlines, and then I go to here, and I'm going to arrange. So I control arrange, bring to front, make this white. And then I'm going to take this and drag it underneath Oak Park versus Staley, and I'll make it a little bit longer. And I don't have to make it thicker. I can kind of distort it a little bit. It won't matter. I can get a hold of it. I'm zooming in a little bit more. See, I moved it by accident. So I'm going to use this to get in there. And then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. If I can. Or actually, I'll make Staley smaller. Maybe easier to do. Shift. Bring it down, move it towards the middle, and move this whole thing down with these as well. So I just kind of move all that down, and then I put these parts below. Now I want to go in and make all these sort of that navy blue again. So I'm going to go ahead and click navy blue. That's close enough. And then I'm going to do the paint as navy blue as well. And for that I can just eyedrop the blue over here. So essentially, let me see, I'm not really done, but this is close enough. I'm going to highlight all of this, and I probably put Staley's logo in up here. I'd move her down a little bit, maybe make her a little bit bigger. Accidentally distorted her, but I'm just gonna leave her there. Okay, so then I'm going to If you want to do it right, put the logo in up here at the top. Otherwise, I'm just going to click a square, 1080 by 1080. Click OK. Center, center. And then I have to highlight it all of it. Make sure you get all of it. And then I'm going to do make clipping mask. Now it's ready to be turned in. So I go File, Export, Export as Match Day. And then that's what I turn in.